Week 8 is here. Let's talk some Thursday night football. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and we're back with Week 8. It feels like we just started the season not long ago, but here we are starting Week 8 already. Quick reminders before we get into it, the NFL best game bets and trends, that video is out every Thursday night, so stay tuned for that. And then the NFL player props video is out every Friday night. Also, it's World Series week. Game 1 best bets video will be out soon after this video, or maybe it's already out depending on when you're watching this, but stay tuned for that. Yankees, Dodgers, gotta love it. So we talked about in our Monday Night Football video that we have 2 1-month free of Outliers to give away. So here we go. Congrats to at Jeff Mort 7754 and at Rafael Mastanza 3060. You've won 1 free month. Reach out to me on Twitter, private message me there or on Discord, and I'll get you the info to get that 1 free month. So if you don't know much about Outlier, guys, it's an incredible app, one of the best player prop researching tools, game bet researching tools, whatever it is you need. Saves time, wins some money, only $19.99 a month. But if you just want to try it out, click that link below in the description. You get a 7-day free trial. You guys have seen it in a ton of my videos. It has been a huge help. So let's get into it. And that means it's time for the NFL fun fact. Here we go. You may already know this. 12 NFL teams have never won a Super Bowl, which is over 1/3 of the league, and 4 have never made a Super Bowl appearance. The Lions, Browns, Texans, and Jags. Now, the Texans and Jags are newer franchises. That makes sense. Lions and Browns are just flat out awful in their franchise history. But I mean, not as bad as my Seattle Mariners. So just FYI. But also, I picked the Lions to win Super Bowl this year. So hopefully that changes. Obviously, they are a very good team now. But just want to point that out. But in this video, we are going to recap the absolute horrendous, crappy Monday Night Football. And that was, there's 2 games. I lost both bets. It was ugly. And then we're going to preview and give out my best bet for the Vikings Rams. So here's what we're doing. I got 1 best bet that I'm going to give out, and then I'm going to give 3 player prop leans that I have that I've not made official yet or anything, but just kind of some props to talk through. And then we'll finish it with the recap. So hit that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment below. Help this channel grow. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button as we're on our way to 31,000 subscribers. Absolutely crazy to say out loud. But anyways, let's get into it. And it starts with the recap. All right, let's do it. This was crappy. 2 Monday Night Football games. Zay Flowers over 58.5 receiving yards. If you watch the game, he had 1 target, 1 carry. On the carry, he hurt himself, went out for a little bit, tried to play the rest of the game. He never got another target. I mean, guys, it was obvious he was hurt. It was ugly. It just is what it is. And then it became a blowout. But either way, he had 1 target as the number 1 receiver after going over 100 receiving yards in 2 straight games. Welcome to sports betting. Second one, J.K. Dobbins. 2 things here. He didn't run as successful as I thought he would, but he also didn't run it as much as I thought. I thought he'd have around 20 carries, but out of absolute nowhere, the Chargers said, you know what? I heard you think we were going to be a running team. We're not. Herbert threw it, I think, right around 40 times. It just caught me off guard out of nowhere. They didn't score a lot of points doing it. I don't know what they were doing or why they changed their identity, but they gave up on the run. But kind of a bad read or just good defense by the Cardinals. I don't know how they decided to stop someone all of a sudden. But either way, 0-2. It is what it is, 55-57. Not too long ago, we were up like 5-6 units, and we've just been bled down just a little bit in the last couple of weeks. It's got to turn around. I am determined. I'm in the lab researching. Let's get some winners this weekend, and hopefully that starts with Thursday Night Football between the Vikings and the Rams. All right, we head out to Los Angeles where the Rams host the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings minus 2.5. Total in this game is 48. Let's just talk a few trends, few notes. And then we'll get into my best bet. Vikings are 6-0 to the over on their team total so far this season, and their team total is set at 24.5. Rams 5-1 to the under of their team total. Their team total is set at 23.5. Honestly, it's not my best bet, but I like what the trends are saying. I like the Vikings over 24.5. I think they score, and I think the Rams probably stay under 23.5 also. Vikings coming in after a tough loss to their division rival, the Detroit Lions. It's their first loss of the season. Rams coming in after another ugly win versus the Raiders, but Cooper Kupp is finally back. That's right. The best player on this team is finally back for the Rams. Quick notable injuries. TJ Hawkinson is questionable. He's a tight end for the Vikings. He has not played yet this year. I've told you this before. We just cashed with Brock Bowers. The Rams are absolutely horrendous versus tight ends. But TJ Hawkinson, if they had him, that would be nice. Even if he does play, I doubt he plays a ton after what he just went through with injury. So just wanted to point that out. Cushman, the linebacker, who's been really good for Minnesota, he is out for this game also. But my best bet, it's a side. Give me the Vikings -2.5 at -112 on Bet365. This is a half unit play. Again, it's my only play so far on this video. I will have 3 props that we're going to talk about right after this that I like also. But I like getting better under a field goal for the much better team. Yes, these Thursday nights games can be really weird. That's why I kind of limit my unit size for the most part, except for Monday, and then I got screwed. But anyways, the Rams just do not look good at all. Now, you think it's a tough spot, obviously. Minnesota just played Detroit. They're traveling on a short week. Traveling on a short week on Thursday night has not mattered much. Here's the last 4 Thursday night games. 3 of the last 4 road teams wins or have won. The Broncos crushed the Saints. 49ers crushed my Seahawks. Cowboys beat the Giants. The only loss was Tampa Bay, and that was even in overtime. So traveling on a short week has really not proven much. Yes, Cooper Kupp is back for the Rams, but I don't think that's. I mean, it's obviously going to help. But here's the real issue: is Stafford versus this Vikings pass rush. It is going to be ugly. When Stafford is under pressure, 22nd in the league with 83.6 QBR or QB rating, 11th in completion percentage, 19th in yards per attempt, 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. This Rams offense is going up against a team that knows how to get pressure, and they also know how to stop the run. That's why I love this matchup for the Vikings. The Rams rely on running the ball an absolute crap ton. The last 4 games with Kyren Williams, 21, 22, 19, and 24 carries. That is going to be a problem versus what I think is probably the #1 run defense, at least top 3 run defense in the entire NFL, right up there with Baltimore. Minnesota allows the fifth fewest yards per attempt at 4 yards per carry. Rams are only averaging 4 yards per attempt right now at 20. That's 27th in the NFL. It has not been a very efficient running game for them. And now the Vikings, they have the absolute highest blitz rate in the NFL, as you guys know, 42.5%. When blitzing, you can get burned if you don't get into the quarterback, obviously, but that's not a problem because they also have the highest pressure rate in the NFL, QB pressure rate of 31%, third most sacks, second most QB knockdowns. Stafford does not like to get hit, if you don't know, especially at this point in his career. But this is such a great matchup. Stafford ain't going to move, guys. He is an absolute statue back there. And I think it's just going to be some problems for him, that's for sure. And there's a chance he even gets hurt in this game because I think he's going to get hit that much. I don't wish any injuries, obviously. Kupp will help a little, obviously, relieving some of that pressure. Maybe someone to get rid of the ball too quickly. But it's going to be hard to go downfield for this Rams offense because, 1, you don't have Nakua still. And 2, you're not going to have much time back there. So recently, the Rams last week, they struggled. They looked bad on offense still. Scored only 20 against the Raiders at home. Raiders are not a good defense. Now, let's talk this Vikings offense versus the Rams defense. Minnesota is a well-balanced offense we've talked about before. Top 17th in both run and pass yards per game. They should be able to do whatever they want against this Rams defense. They are bottom 7 versus the run and pass in DVO. The Rams are DVOA. I don't even know what I just said. But only 5 teams have less sacks than this Rams team as well. LA has 11 sacks through 6 games. They're not going to get a ton of pressure. Aaron Jones should have a good game here. The only question mark is, well, he is questionable a little bit. It sounds like he's going to play, but I don't know on a Thursday night game. I don't know if they're going to run him 20 times or anything. Aaron Jones was a prop I was looking at, but I stayed away from. But Rams have given up 73 plus rush yards to every #1 running back they have faced. Also, the 8th most yards per attempt. Overall, Vikings pressure I think is going to be key here. I think it's going to allow them to stop the Rams, and they also do exactly what the Rams want to try to do. It's strength versus strength. And even when I say strength, the Rams offense running game is not that strong, not efficient at least. So I think the Vikings are going to force them into having to throw the ball, and that's not going to be pretty for the statue back there that is Matthew Stafford. So no home field advantage for LA too. I know it's a road game and Minnesota still has to travel, but LA doesn't have that much of a home field advantage at all. I like the matchup. Love getting under a field goal. I like it at 3 as well, but give me the Vikes -2.5 to bounce back from last week as my one and only bet so far for Thursday night football. And now let's talk some player prop leans. All right, let's talk through some props now. Again, I have not made any props an official bet yet for this game, but just want to kind of give you some ideas and where I'm thinking. And one of these might be added in the morning. We'll see. But Stafford over a half an interception is the first one. You can get this at +106 as of at least when I recorded this on FanDuel. Like I mentioned, the Vikings get a lot of pressure on quarterbacks. Pressures usually lead to some interceptions. Vikings happen to lead the league in interceptions. Not a shock considering how much pressure they get. As you can see by this screenshot from OUTLIER, he has thrown an interception 4 of 6 games. and 3 straight games. This is going to be the toughest matchup of the year for him. So I like him to throw over a half interception. Second one, Justin Jefferson, anytime touchdown. Saw this at -120 on FanDuel. Scored a touchdown in 5 of 6 games this year, with Darnold expected to have some time in the pocket. I really like his chances to find Justin Jefferson here. The Rams secondary has given up a ton of big plays this year. He could get it on a long play. He could get it on a red zone, inside the 5, whatever it is. We know he is probably the best wide receiver in the league. 5 touchdowns in his last 5 road starts as well. Third one, Kyren Williams, under 73.5 rush yards, -113 on FanDuel. Only 2 running backs have gone over this number versus the Vikings this year, and that's Jahmyr Gibbs, Jordan Mason. Now, those 2 guys have been way better than Kyren Williams. Jahmyr Gibbs is averaging 5.7 yards per attempt, one of the best running backs and running offensive lines in the entire NFL. And then Jordan Mason, how about averaging 5.2 yards? So they're both averaging over 5, with Gibbs averaging almost 6. Kyren Williams this season, he's averaging a very pedestrian, below average 3.8 yards per carry. He just struggled to run 3.6 yards per carry versus the Raiders. I mean, if he even just hits his average here at 3.8, which I think he could go well under against one of the top run defenses, he's going to need at least 20 carries to go over this. So the only thing that scared me away is if he does get the volume, and say he gets 23 carries or something. Obviously, if you're going to get that many carries, it becomes a little scary. But again, I think the Vikings run defense is really solid, one of the best in the league. So it's going to be tough for him. Game script, I expect to lead to more passing as well. So especially having Cooper Kupp back, you might be willing to call more pass plays as well. So I like Kyren to go under his rush yards line. Justin Jefferson, anytime touchdown, and then Stafford over a half an interception. 3 player prop leans that I have. Again, not official bets yet or anything like that, but just kind of wanted to talk through some props with you guys because I know you like to bet some props like I do. So anyways, that's what we got for Thursday Night Football. Now, let's check out the recap. All right, there it is. The one and only bet. Give me the Vikes, -2.5, -112 on Bet365 for a half unit. And if you skip to the end of this video, then you missed us talking about 3 other player props that I like. They're just leans right now, so go check that out. But any added plays will be in the pinned comments on X and on Discord. The link is below. It's completely free. We don't charge for anything, so go check it out. But thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Let's have a great bounce back week 8. If you haven't already, hit that like button and be sure to go check out our NBA and World Series videos as well. But hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.